morning, everyone. We're so excited to have you with our February Chamber Focus series. My name is Cindy Holzheimer. I'm the president and CEO of the Northern Ohio Area Chambers of Commerce, NOAC for short for everyone. NOAC is an association of 134 chambers in Northern Ohio. We were just talking about it. We're in 41 counties, so that's why we still love Zoom. We provide cost savings solutions for chambers to give to their members, and also some professional and organizational development for chamber leaders and staff and board members, which is what we're doing today. So I would like to introduce you to the team here at NOAC, which are your peers, our president, Missy McWhorter, our immediate past chair, John Soboleski, our treasurer, Rachel Weinkoop, our secretary is Greg Church, and our two at-large positions, we have Karen Bosley on this morning, and we also have Tony Gallo. So I am excited that I get to introduce our speaker today. And I know her and just absolutely love her. So I was so excited she was able to join us today. And that is Jacquie Chakirelis. As a leading digital strategist, excuse me, Jacquie has worked for some of the largest media publishers in the country, working with marketing and editorial teams to leverage digital platforms for audience and revenue growth. She has been named one of the top 50 influential women in content marketing and 50 top B2B content marketing influencers to follow in 2021. So NOAC is really excited and very proud to have been partnered with Cleveland Magazine for many years now. NOAC's rep at the publication is Sarah Desmond, who's on today's call. I also see we're going to have Paul Klein and Julie Biolis, and they are also reps that represent a lot of our chambers. They can answer any questions that you might have about Cleveland Magazine, Great Lakes Publishing at the end of the presentation. Excuse me. Over the past few years now, we've been also working with Jacquie and her team at Quest Digital to elevate our marketing game. And let me tell you, they have been wonderful to work with. They make everything very easy, and they've really produced some amazing results for our NOAC and for our chambers. One of her proudest moments that Jacquie has is founding a nationally syndicated talk radio program and podcast called Family Matters Radio. Currently, she serves as the Director of Digital Strategy for Quest Digital and Great Lakes Publishing, a regional publishing powerhouse of magazines and digital content, including Cleveland Magazine and Ohio Magazine. So to tell us more about how chambers can take advantage of some of the latest marketing technologies, please help me welcome Jacquie Chakirelis.
Hello, everyone. Great to be here. I'm excited to talk with you today and excited to share some of the newest marketing technologies, specifically in the television space and the video space, that we've been working with clients as well as NOAC on, and just have seen some amazing results. And Cindy thought it would be a great idea that we shared it not only with some of the chambers, but also that you were aware for some of your small business partners, because I think it can be a little daunting and a little confusing. So hopefully today we'll clear those confusions. So I am going to share my screen, and give me just a second because this setup is never easy. And there we go. You're going to see a slideshow, but I am going to put in presenter view. And that, go back to the beginning. All right.
So Jacquie, we're seeing kind of double screen there. That's full screen. There you go.
Okay. Okay, great.
Perfect.
Let's go back here a little bit. All right, great. Everybody good? Everybody can see the screen okay? Full screen? Perfect. Thank you so much for that thumbs up. That helps me tremendously. And I want to mention today, I'm going to be asking you some questions, and I know you're going to have some questions for me. Feel free to throw those in the chat. If you worried about forgetting that question, and we will go through that chat, and we'll have plenty of time for Q&A after we get through the presentation. So we talked about OTT, you saw in the title, and CTV. It's really the streaming TV umbrella that we're going to talk about. We're going to definitely have some definitions. Obviously, Cindy, kind words that Cindy offered about me. Thank you so much, Cindy. And I am proud of all of those achievements. But maybe what I hope you take away from this is that, I've worked for media companies my entire career. And working for these media companies, I worked for newspapers, magazines, television and radio, and national websites. And the one thing that they all had in common is an audience. And they got that audience through content and leveraged that audience for revenue. And that is shifting. Not that they're not still attracting an audience, but how you as a business owner or as a small chamber can leverage that audience is shifting. And that's really what we're going to talk about today. Today's key takeaway is streaming TV, also known as OTT and CTV, and we'll have some definitions of those later, is a powerful performance marketing channel that chambers and their small business partners should be looking at to make the most of their 22 or 23 plans and beyond. And what's important to realize here is that I highlighted performance because in the past, TV and video was considered just a branding channel, but it really has become a performance channel. So today's agenda, we're going to be talking about how the TV landscaping is shifting, what business owners should know about streaming TV advertising campaigns and options, and how CTV's digital roots can really provide a wealth of data for your 2023 planning and beyond. So I said I was going to ask you a couple questions. Maybe you could throw this up in the chat or just think back. What was your favorite 2023 Super Bowl ad? We just had it this past week. And, on average, advertisers spend about $20 million per 30-second spot to create and place an ad. Well, I wonder if you had a favorite. I did. Where did you see it on? Did you see it on smart TV? Were you watching cable TV, broadcast TV? Maybe you were watching on your mobile phone, your tablet, or your computer. Think about that experience a little bit, or anytime that you watch TV. Do you have multiple devices? Most people do, and that's what has made streaming TV so successful. Well, I want to show you what my favorite was, and it was put on by Anytime Fitness. And by the way, it wasn't even shown during the Super Bowl.
During this year's big game, you'll have a chance to win a trip to anywhere in the world. There's an Anytime Fitness. Anytime you hear the word anytime. Anytime an announcer says anytime. Anytime a pop superstar sings anytime at halftime. Anytime a talking dog in a beer commercial says anytime to describe when he likes to party. Just tweet hashtag just heard anytime as soon as you hear anytime. Anytime an A-list actor says anytime in an ad for a cryptocurrency that won't exist next year. If you ask one of your friends what time you can come over and they say anytime, doesn't count, has to be on TV. That word again is anytime.
So I want to mention that the results just came in from this ad. And again, this did not play during the Super Bowl, but cleverly during the Super Bowl, Anytime Fitness was mentioned 5,200 times. It had a 2,171% increase in mentions in just one day. 6,000 times the hashtag was used, and the word anytime, the actual word anytime, was used 3 times in the game. They figured out brand favorability point increase. It was 10 times or 10 points year over year. And that has equated into a number, in fact, record-breaking calls of sales. We'll, I'm sure, find out exactly what those sales are later. The point is, and the reality is that the TV viewing audience is shifting, and brands like Anytime Fitness are adopting and changing their strategies to capture attention of potential customers. Last year, Nielsen reported that streaming made up the largest share of TV viewing. Now that's beating out linear for the first time. But CTV, or connected TV, only counts for about 18% of the video ad dollars. The most shocking part is that in 2022, over 70% of viewers are not even accessible by linear TV, and that's growing. While many people point to the pandemic as the reason for this shift in viewing audiences, the fact is linear TV households have been on the steady decline for over a decade. Now, I happen to be working at NBC in 2010, and I didn't know, but that's when TV households were at their peak. Starting in 2011, the cord cutting generation starts to replace linear. And with the advance in streaming services in 2020, well, you might have guessed it, that audience went into steep decline. And if we look across the network landscape in 2020, broadcast TV's reach is down an average of 22%. That's across all networks, Fox, NBC, CBS, and ABC affiliates. And during non-political years, non-Olympic years, it continues to decrease. And this audience did not shift over to cable for more than a couple years. Cable TV's decline is also losing significant audience year over year in the last 5 years. Again, this is not a bump in the road, but a single path downward. Between 2016 and 2021, pay TV lost around 50 million adult viewers. And by 2024, the number of cord cutters and cord nevers will reach about 138.1 million. Now, you might be asking yourself this question right now, like, who cares? I get it. But we need to look backwards to look forward a bit to see why this time is so important and how you can take advantage of it. And yes, that means jumping into the hot tub time machine, my very favorite. It's a little bit early for these beverages, but let's take a jump in that hot tub time machine to ponder advertising, specifically TV advertising and the future of video. Now, like radio before it and social media after it, TV boomed before it was monetized. The money was in selling TV sets, but once homes had one, the model had to pivot. And the first TV ad ran on July 1st, 1941, before a game between the then Brooklyn Dodgers and the Philadelphia Phillies. Well, in just 14 years, the television ad industry would pass the 1 billion mark. And here is the first ad ever played for television.
America runs on Bull of a time.
That's it, 9 seconds long. Wow. Boy, did America love their TV. And Lucy Goes to the Hospital was an episode featuring the birth of little Ricky, was viewed by 44 million people. 15 more million viewers then would tune in to see President Eisenhower's inauguration the next day. 71% of American households tuned in. And it remains one of the most viewed broadcasts in TV history. Tell me if you remember this music. Right? Well, this was 1953, and you had a choice of 4 networks, and you watched it together in one room on one device. Businesses ran commercials that were cost calculated according to TV ratings. That's how Nielsen came about, and based on audience share. In 1984, during the third quarter of the Super Bowl, Apple introduced the Macintosh computer with a $500,000 spot, which was record-breaking at that time. During the NFL's big game, turning that NFL's big game into a major advertising event. This also marks the beginning of an era when advertising becomes newsworthy, when we started to talk about Super Bowl ads. If we only knew then what we know now, personally, I would have sold my car and bought Apple stocks, but that time has passed. See if you remember this ad. Oops, let's go back. There we go. Nope, it's not going to play. Well, Hopefully you remember the 1984 ad. For some reason, it's not playing. But let's jump back into that hot tub time machine. And actually, we're going to go forward. And we're going to go to 2007. Now, if you were really cool and at the top of the game, you probably had this device. It's called a BlackBerry. And a sign of super achievers was to have something called a BlackBerry thumb. Now, if you had this was a new fashion. People kind of started wearing fingerless gloves, but really it was the BlackBerry thumb that started it all. The BlackBerry thumb occurred from the clicking, I can still hear the clicking today, of your BlackBerry device. And then on June 29, 2007, Apple releases the iPhone. And while it wasn't the first smartphone, it leapfrogged far beyond the competition and really launched the mobile revolution. Now remember, this was in 2007. If you look at BlackBerry back in 2007, they were just on the rise. The introduction of the iPhone, or at that time they called it the glass phone, really didn't have immediate effect. BlackBerry felt that they had plenty of runway, and it was at their peak in 2011. But it rested on its laurels. It didn't pivot. It didn't innovate. So in few short years, the decline happened, and soon they were dead in the water. The failure of BlackBerry to innovate and see the world as it is today and not where it could be heading was a crucial error. And they never recovered from it. Change is an opportunity, not a threat. So what does the decline of linear TV mean for the video in general? With so much choice, have we grown bored with video? It's pretty easy to see that with all the devices that we have in front of us, it's actually an opportunity. Data suggests that the amount of online video watched per person has almost doubled since 2018. And while there was a slight decline in the first month of 2023, we're just at the beginning of the year. More than 9 out of 10 people report wanting to see more videos from brands in 2023. Another data point that's higher than ever, making video an excellent tool for lead generation and brand awareness. Video has quickly become a non-negotiable thing for audiences looking to explore and make purchases. So let's look at where the eyeballs are today. And we're going to talk about the streaming TV environment. Send me a $sign in the chat if you watch TV through streaming services. I bet you we're pretty close to 100%. Well, you're not alone. 64% of people in the US own a CTV device, and about half of US Wi-Fi households now stream content directly to their TV on an average of 1 hour and 40 minutes every single day, according to ComScore. And as TV audiences become more fragmented, time-shifted, advertisers need to stay in front of their target audience, which they can now achieve with CTV advertising. Now, the definitions of OTT and CTV sound very similar, and there it's not surprising that it leads to a lot of confusion. Believe me, I was confused at the beginning, and most video consumers and business owners are. So let's try to have a look at the difference between these two terms. Use CTV to refer to a specific type of advice. Again, Roku, Amazon Fire TV. Use OTT to refer to content like Hulu, YouTube TV, Netflix, and so on. It can also be consumed on the iPhone, which is a very different experience and really correlates with the experience that most people have today with streaming TV. The bottom line is your TV commercial can be served across all devices. Now, when we sit down with our clients, we normally use this marketing funnel as an opportunity to talk about where streaming TV can fit in. It's a great way to not only achieve brand awareness or top of the funnel, but also to develop trust, explaining complex products and services. We recommend that most of our clients benefit from what's called a 60-40 split. 60% large screen or smart TV, and 40% small screen. That includes mobile, tablet, desktop, for a combination of brand awareness, top of the funnel, to clicks, consideration, higher engagement, more middle of the funnel. And then conversion happens through search ads and things like that we can institute. So again, look at the funnel. Where does streaming TV fit in, and how can you make a full funnel approach to your marketing? The internet has changed consumer behaviors with so many ways, but it's also changed how we watch TV. And finally, TV advertising is specific to our interests and allows for active engagement with ads to learn more, conduct research on products and services in real time if there's interest. This is a huge for investing in TV advertising, because now we can be targeted, tracked, optimized, and tracked again like any other digital audience targeted product. Besides all those targeting options that streaming TV provides and all of the devices where your ads can be seen, it's important to note that it's very cost effective advertising option. This is important because in the recent past, television advertising was just way too big and was meant for big marketing budgets. But as you can see here, we have a lower barrier to entry. Most of our clients start at around 20 to 50,000 impressions per month. At 20,000 impressions per month with an average targeting CPM of about $35, we're talking about $500 to $700 per month to run a targeted television ad across all those devices. Now there are buying options for streaming TV. Here are the details of some of those advertising packages that we design for our clients. As mentioned, our kind of go-to package for many of the account managers is that 60 to 40 split package, which offers the best mix of premium awareness and online engagement. However, it all depends on the goals of the campaign. So what are some differences? Well, large screen TV advertising is closest to the traditional advertising with obvious upgrades of a fewer brand messages to compete with. And of course, the fact that there is far more targeted to each consumer. In terms of reporting metrics, what we look at is completion rate. That's the primary data point. And it's often very high, as someone would need to change the channel or turn off the TV in order for this completion rate to go down. So if we're talking about brand awareness, we use this large screen, or this 90%, as the opportunity. Streaming TV advertising on a small screen gives us more opportunities to optimize, capture and optimize even more, and then of course report on many metrics, including clicks, click-through rate, and yes, on-site conversions. Some key points here. Premium connected TV is our top offering with names, brands, content that provides well-known names. Completion rates tend to be about 90% due to running on the big screen. Now, audience targeting helps account for the fragmentation of the streaming environment. Viewers continue to evaluate various streaming channels and churn based on content. Plus, they naturally, as you probably know, hop from channel to channel. Well, the difference between reaching an audience or targeting an audience rather than targeting content, like is my ad playing during the Indians game or something like that, or oops, sorry, Guardians game. It's going to take me a while to get out of that. Is my ad playing during the Guardians game? We're not really concerned about the content as much as we are about the audience and following that audience. So that fragmentation, we don't have to worry about so much. Here's the secret sauce. Because CTV is delivered over the internet via streaming devices, far more audience data is accessible in reporting connected to viewers, including a host of variables tied to first and third-party data sources. In fact, audience segmentation and targeting capabilities are far more advanced than traditional TV options, which basically is demographics or maybe zip codes at the most, and are in line with modern digital marketing capabilities. let's take a look at some targeting options. Now, I just grabbed a screenshot of some high-end real estate, some automotive, but really these are targeting options that we can, let's say we wanted to target parents for a private education school or preschool. There's all kinds of behaviors. I couldn't list them all here. They wouldn't fit on the screen, but it kind of gives you an idea of behavior and demographics that we can combine to find the right sauce. This one, you look at the business context, leadership, C-level, executive hierarchy. We can actually hone in on luxury travel and luxury hotels. And if you are an automotive business, this kind of type of audience targeting is something that you want to be aware of, because if people have the intent, they behave very specifically online. If they're looking for a car, we can target them through television campaigns and streaming TV campaigns. Well, you might be thinking, what about B2B? Well, B2B doesn't mean boring to boring. Boring to boring. Oh gosh, I knew that was going to get me. But it really could be the biggest opportunity in a lifetime. Consider this, only 29% currently invest in CTV, but 90% plan on it in the coming years. So that biggest opportunity to lean into targeting options and be ahead of your competition instead of following the crowd in the future is happening right now. So where do you start? Well, before we begin any campaign, we discuss what success looks like. As a chamber leader or business owner, this is the most important question you need to answer. To build a strategy, we need to reverse engineer what outcomes we want to achieve. And with CTV, we can go way beyond the brand awareness of TV's traditional past. Your business goals can be assigned to KPIs, or what we call key performance indicators, and they can ensure that marketing campaigns stay on task. Whether it's site visits or conversions, we select KPIs that are most important for your business. Let's go back to that marketing funnel again. Streaming TV, like every marketing tactic, needs to be one cog in the wheel or part of a strategy. It's not a one size fits all. Integrated campaigns that account for every level of the marketing funnel builds long-term success for businesses. Let's take a look at a couple of quick case studies. This is for a home improvement contractor, a new home improvement contractor that really wanted to build brand awareness, felt that their name was not out there, and they wanted to look at specific zip codes. But we took this year-long streaming TV program and received 8,000 unique views and a 96% completion rate. But it also had an halo effect on all the digital tactics and raised response rate by 45% of visits to his contact page on his website. We work with a lot of convention and visitor bureaus in Ohio and quite a number of independent hotels. And this is a great example of connecting an audience segment, travelers, with that is targetable and with very specific creative tracking and KPIs. Now, this hotel significantly increased bookings and overall conversions just by using the right creative for sports enthusiasts, which likely meant more bookings in the future. And remember those B2B stats we talked about? Well, you may recognize this client.
Save your business money. Join your local chambers of commerce. Save on payroll processing, health insurance, shipping, and more. I ended up saving like thousands in business expenses, and I was able to get really good health care for my employees. Get discounts with our 2 Anthem health insurance plans. Offer employees electric and natural gas savings for their homes. Save on customizable payment solutions. Visit NOAC.
The key here is that we decided on one clear message, and we delivered that message to a target audience, small business owners, business decision makers in Northern Ohio. So in the content ecosystem, OTT and CTV simply changes how people consume media. According to data, 60% of millennials had connected TVs, and in 2022, Gen Z and Gen X had 49% and 51% respectively. But the most important audience data you need to know is more than just demographics. You got to dig deeper beyond demographics and think more about your current customers. Brainstorm answers to these questions. What do they have in common? What do they need from you? What are some of the common questions they ask? Why do they trust you? And what are they seeking and why? And if you can answer some of those questions, not only will you have a better idea of the target audience, you'll have a better idea of what type of creative to use to get them to perform into a specific action. Now, we want to talk about performance goals. What about what success looks like? Options could be increase qualified leads to website forms, increase phone call appointments to call centers. Often the biggest stumbling block for business owners is creative, because they think it's, they're going to need an expensive production crew, days of filming, months of editing, costing tens of thousands of dollars. Well, think of creative production on a spectrum of highly polished to user-generated TikTok videos. Yeah, they all have a place in the streaming TV environment, and you can use local production companies, templated software programs, and easy interface cloud programs that don't require a designer or a design degree. Some cloud-based software options to explore include Waymark, QuickFrame, and Adobe Premiere Rush. And I want to take a quick look at Canva's video suite.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. It's over. It's the end of October. Champagne on the shoulder. This is my exposure. Pop that bottle, it's over. It's the end of October. Champagne on the shoulder. This is my exposure. Pop that all night long. But the feeling keeps kicking in. Beef with all the girls. Pop that all night long. But the feeling keeps kicking in. Beef with all the girls. Pop that all night long. But the feeling keeps kicking in. Beef with all the girls.
Now, that's a sizzle reel, right? So I know it can look confusing, but try and remember that that type of video is what current consumers, those Gen Xers and Gen Zers, that's what they're consuming, and that's what their expectations are, not those highly produced productions. So some key takeaways from today. While the streaming landscape has been continually evolving, 2023 really is going to be the first full year that the majority of the TV viewers elect to watch via streaming, and that has become a key premium channels to introduce your ad offerings. CTV is a performance channel that can be auto-optimized towards key initiatives from site visitors to conversions. And setting up a CTV campaign isn't really that difficult. It's a pretty easy when you set the performance goals, you select the target audience, and you get the right video creative. Advertisers really can enter 2023 prepared to make the most of this really growing platform. Okay, one final jump back into the hot tub time machine because I can't resist it. And we're going to look at a quote from the Harvard Business Review in 2008. They said, brands that are out of sight on the television screen will sooner or later be out of mind for a large percentage of consumers. Now, this was 2008, before streaming was a thing. Think of today as the screens, the mobile screens, the tablet screens, the desktop screens, the smart TV, how the screens have increased. And as a business, as a small chamber, you need to be there too. But wait, there's more. I did want to tell you a little bit about Quest Digital. We are a local marketing agency that, again, is focused on local communities. We are a digital marketing agency focused on clients and strategies, not billable hours. And we're able to do that because we're owned by original publishing powerhouse, Great Lakes Publishing. Now, you may know us by some of our consumer-facing titles like Cleveland Magazine, Ohio Magazine, and Lake Erie Living. But did you know that we're more than just a publisher? We're omni-channel storytellers at Great Lakes Publishing, with a content marketing team that produces publications, websites, mobile apps, and yes, videos. For every client, we customize a strategy based on their business goals and assemble a project team of strategists, developers, and content creators focused on achieving those goals. And our deep expertise of serving a digital and print subscriber audience with content and supports and strengthens our community is really core to our very existence. And we have a lot of fun too. We're not all business. In fact, to thank you for the time, we'd love to enter you for a chance to win 2 VIP tickets to one of the favorite events we host each year, the Best of Cleveland Party. Now, this is the biggest and best party of the year, celebrating restaurants, local businesses, and entertainment in the Cleveland area. Just take your phone, snap that QR code on the screen, or you can send me an email. I know my email is very easy to remember. I'm sorry, I'm Greek. There's nothing I can do about that. But of course, Cindy has my email address if you'd rather use that. But I'm gonna keep the QR code up and around, and I can certainly share it again. Thank you again for your time, and I look forward to taking any of your questions.
Oh, thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions right off the bat? All right, well, they're going to be on for a few minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share a slide real quick and we'll wrap up the recorded portion. So, again, thank you so much for that presentation. I took so many notes, and I'm a customer, so we talk about this stuff all the time, and I took a bunch of notes. But our next focus series is going to be on March 16th. We're going to do kind of a joint presentation with Heidi Zeltner of the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses, and then Ed Cordiano. He is with CMIT Solutions. They are an IT company. They're actually our IT company. We use them, and they're going to really talk about how you can protect and grow your business. And we're still working out the timeline for this particular one, so more to come on that, but that is going to be 1 month from today. And again, we just want to thank Jackie and her team for coming on today and really just teaching us how to take advantage of some of these really great new trends. It's always said that chambers are always behind on the technology grid. These are some really great ways to really take advantage of that. We started the last quarter of last year with the streaming TV ads, and I can't say enough about them. So if it's something you can put into your budget, small, large, whatever, it's definitely worth taking a look at. Your area that you will be targeting is much smaller than our area, so you're really going to be able to have maximum impact in a smaller area. So, stay on if you have any more questions. If you have any questions for Jackie or even Sarah or Paul or Julie about the magazine itself, stay on the line. Everyone else, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next month.